Today's video is brought to you by ablmerch.com. You're able to get all the hats I wear in the videos, plus a wide selection of other hats and hoodies and t-shirts, stickers, and whatnot through the link in the description box below. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about coronavirus. This has been all over the news, all over the internet for at least, 2 months now, maybe a little bit more. We all know the story. It started in China. They're over there eating bats and rats and cats and dogs and everything else. And voila, a disease is created, or it could have been created in the lab and escaped, but that's a different story. So for now, I digress. The whole point is that the disease has spread in Wuhan, China, and Guangdong. It's like, 75,000 documented cases over there. And now it's spread to a lot of other countries. It's here in the U.S. as well. There was one case in Northern California where somebody got it without having gone to China at all or having any kind of direct contact with a person that had just come from China, to their knowledge. Now, before I even go any further, let's get into this video. This video shows how coronavirus is being politicized when it should not be. Like I said, the focus should be on keeping people safe and preventing the spread and coming up with a vaccine or a cure, but people are seizing on the moment to gain political points. After we get done with that, I'll talk about what was said in the video. I'll give you my 2 cents, my further analysis, and then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Which is top of people's minds. Donald Trump's chief of staff, Mick Mulvaney, told the Conservative Political Action Conference that the coronavirus was a hoax of the day. Do you agree with Donald Trump's chief of staff, Mulvaney, that the coronavirus is the hoax of the day?
The State Department is doing everything it can to protect American citizens around the world.
Do you believe coronavirus is the hoax of the day?
I'm not going to comment on what others say.
I'm just asking you, do you believe the coronavirus is a hoax?
I'm just telling you what the Secretary of State's doing.
Do you believe the coronavirus is a hoax?
We're working to keep people safe.
You can't even answer that question.
Yeah,
it's not even a gotcha question. You believe the coronavirus is a hoax?
It's a gotcha moment. It's not useful.
Is the coronavirus a hoax? Can you just ansar that question?
We're taking it seriously. This is a
Are you
serious.
at 12:15 today? Are you in fact yourself speaking at CPAC? At 12:15 today, are you speaking?
Yes, I am. I'm planning.
All right. So you can only give 2 hours to this bipartisan group of members of Congress, and instead of answering questions on life and death issues from a bipartisan group of America's representatives, you're going to go talk to a special interest group.
Yes.
You, sir, represent all Americans, not a special interest group. It is shameful. You can't even answer basic questions. I yield back.
Gentleman's time has expired.
Okay, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, that video was crazy. Let's get straight into it. Ted Lieu, what are you doing here, sir? I know you're in California, you're on the left coast, you want to be, sticking it to Trump and the administration, but right now, it ain't the time, okay? You see the stock market plunging because people are scared of what the coronavirus is going to do. They're scared that the trade is going to be disrupted between the U.S. and China. Apple's talking about they may not have enough iPhone, 12s or whatever it is. So people are just, shedding stock because they're afraid of what is going to happen economically. The main thing with the virus, I think, will be how supplies are going to be limited because things are not going to come from China. Production is going to be shut down. People are going to be quarantined, and people may just get too sick to go and work. And if they are working while sick, do you want a thing that came from a sick factory or a sick place? People are shedding off stock. People are panicking. People are getting, just in a mode where they really shouldn't be. They're in panic mode. So Ted Lieu asking Mike Pompeo these questions is just ridiculous. And then he wants to say, oh, you're going to CPAC, right? Oh, but you can't be here and answer these questions. What would Mike Pompeo canceling CPAC to sit and answer questions do for American safety? How is that actually going to help? The reality is that there's not much anybody can really do aside from just trying to limit travel, to limit the amount of exposure from China. We're trying to work on an immunization or a cure that's being worked on right now. Okay, what else can really be done? Him sitting there answering questions is not going to help. And then I see others, people like Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer talking about, oh, Trump's not giving enough money. He's giving like $2 billion. We want $6 or $8 billion. what is the actual number money-wise going to do? Break it down for me. Don't just say, oh, it's not enough. Explain to me why it's not enough. Explain to me what $6 billion more on top of the $2 billion is going to do to eradicate the virus or to slow it down any further than what has already been done. Like I said, we're slowing down the travel. We're trying to monitor people, screen people. We're trying to do mandatory quarantine. We're doing the research. What more can actually be done? Not much, if anything at all. People are just trying to gain political points. That's it. And the media are hopping on it, trying to get some clicks and some ad revenue from the hysteria. Meanwhile, they're aiding in the panic that is driving the Dow down. So it was like, it doesn't make any sense. You're trying to make money right now by reporting on it and by making a panic out of it and also trying to hit the administration. Meanwhile, you're causing market sell-off. You're causing a little bit of panic just in regular everyday people. What are you even doing? And China is hilarious, talking about, oh, the U.S. is spreading panic by quarantine and limiting travel. It's like, come on, that's just a thing that you would normally do. China is kind of hypocritical for saying that we're racist for limited travel when I saw allegedly some Chinese government welding someone into their house. Okay, like they're in their apartment or whatever. Their door on the outside has some kind of metal latch and they were welding that so they couldn't even come out. They put a bar and then they welded their latch so they couldn't come out their house. Okay, people were getting dragged from their homes in other instances by force if they were thought to be sick, to put into quote unquote quarantine or into that hospital. And that hospital they built real quick, like within like 10 days or something. It appears to be a penitentiary. They had a camera in there, and if I could find the footage, I'll place it in the box. But they had like a little food slot on the front of the door, and you couldn't get out from the inside. That's a jail to me. That's what it seems like. You know, I didn't see too many hospital beds in there. I saw some cells or what appeared to be cells, but that's a different story. And I'll move on. The whole point is that China has some nerve trying to point the finger at the U.S. for saying that limiting travel and talking about quarantine is racist and all this, that, and the third, while they're doing the very same thing over there. Nobody's blaming them for that because you don't want the disease to spread, especially in a place like Wuhan, where it's like 20 million people and the surrounding metro area is 50 million people. You want to keep everyone safe in that region, but also the 1.1 or 1.4 billion people that you have in the entire country of China and the surrounding countries. It's just kind of logic and common sense. But getting back to the people trying to score points and attack the administration, people are saying that Trump is wrong or misguided for having Pence lead up the effort. First of all, Pence ain't going to be the guy out there trying to come up with a cure and testing people. And, you know, like that's not what he's going to do. He's going to be the manager of the whole situation. People said that Mike Pence would not be a good manager because there was an HIV epidemic in 2015 in Indiana that he didn't handle properly. Well, let me explain to you what's going on with that. There was an HIV epidemic because of rampant drug use. People were injecting the drug that is not really widely known, some kind of prescription drug. It was not fentanyl or anything else, but it was a very specific drug that people in a particular area had started to inject, and then it kind of spread just in that area. People using dirty needles, HIV spread that way. Now, what he did eventually was set up a clean needle exchange, but he was hesitant to do it at first because when you have the clean needles, that could actually promote more people to use drugs. You know, people may be kind of afraid to start to inject if they become hooked on the drug because of the HIV concern. But once they got the clean needle, now they may go out there and use it. It could be contradictory to an anti-drug policy, which is the best way. You want to keep the drugs away from the people so they don't use it, so they don't die of an overdose or catch HIV from dirty needle exchanges. You understand what I'm saying? So people are saying that he was wrong for doing that and that he does not really know how to handle these things. But Dr. Drew, and shout out to him, said that Indiana was the model of how to handle the opioid crisis and general disease outbreak. And the reason why he liked Pence as a vice president is because of that track record handling things from a medical point of view. And I don't think Dr. Drew is a guy that's even really a Trump supporter. He's just looking at it from a common sense facts point of view. he really got into the media in a viral video, and what he said is on point to what's happening in this whole situation.
So, Dr. Drew, are we overreacting?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I'm hearing this from doctors left and right.
Yes, and we are not overreacting. The press is overreacting, and it makes me furious. The press should not be reporting medical stories as though they know how to report it. If we have a pandemic, I won't know how to tell that we're actually having a pandemic because everything is an emergency. People that are infectious disease specialists, the CDC, the epidemiologists, need to take this very seriously. The press needs to shut up.
The media should keep quiet. They should not be fostering panic. They should let the government do what they're going to do. They should just err on the side of caution, because if they're interfering with their panic-driven narrative, that's going to make it harder for people to do what they got to do. People are going to be less likely to report their illnesses. They may think they're going to get put into a gulag and stuff like that. You know, people are afraid when the media are putting out fear-mongering stories every single day about what's going on. So as I close, I'm going to say this. The coronavirus, I mean, let's take it seriously and make sure it doesn't spread. But is it like the Black Plague? I don't think so. It's like the flu, not the same as the flu, but it's like the flu, respiratory illness. If you are not compromised in your immune system, you're probably going to be okay. If you're not elderly or a child, you'll get sick for a little while and you'll get over it, like the cold. Not saying it's the cold, not saying it's the flu, but it's not as serious as people are trying to say. Keep the country safe, keep the country secure, and let's not get into panic mode, because that won't make things any better. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that the people who are saying that Trump is not doing a good job or he's not doing the right thing, and that Mike Pence should not be the guy that's heading up the whole coronavirus extermination effort, are correct? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Or do you think that they're not correct? Do you think that the media are trying to promote panic just to get money, just to get views to their channels, to their TV stations, to their social media platforms? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. I think that this has really been politicized, and it shouldn't be. It should be about trying to keep people safe and not about trying to score points. I don't care if you're on the left or on the right. Let's work together to make sure this thing does not spread, and let's try to get some kind of vaccine or a cure and move on with our lives, so we're not caught up in the latest cycle of this thing is going to kill me. What am I going to be able to do to stop it? But whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.